Excuse me, I have a bit of a frog throat this morning. I don't know, I went a little crazy at the library. Getting my Times of Israel updates. I have no idea how that even got put on my computer. Does that happen to anybody else? Where you have some random things coming on your laptop? Okay, clearly I need help. It's clear I need some help. Hi everyone. Good morning. Good morning everybody. It's morning here. I'm filming early in the morning. My table is a little tipsy. I got my Java, a little coffee. I don't know if anybody else collects these Starbucks mugs. With my wobbly tabletop and my updates that I don't understand. Yeah, I need help for sure. How is everybody? I hope everyone is enjoying their summer. It looks like the summer is coming to an end. The end is upon us, at least upon me, because I am already stressing about going back to work, getting back in the classroom. Not stressing like in a bad way, but stressing in the sense that I have to start preparing my classes. So that's what's on my plate. I'm gonna take like another week to just really relish the final moments of freedom. Then I have to get back to work. So that's what I'm looking at, desperately trying to find a desk. Why is it so hard to find a nice desk? I don't know what it is about Canadian furniture companies, but we really need to up our game. Like, I can find a really nice desk at a Home Hardware in the States, and yet here, all they are metal tables. I swear. Metal tables are like the weird kind of postmodern, poorly made IKEA style of table. So, I'm searching for a desk. If anybody has any ideas, please make a comment in the comments below. Back to the books. So I don't know, it just kind of dawned on me this month that it would be a good idea to maybe join a library, which I've had a library card for a while, and because of COVID, the libraries here were closed, and I never did electronic downloads from the library, which I still don't do. I really prefer to have physical copies of books, but I did go to the library in the past week. In fact, I went to 2 libraries, and I've started taking some books out of the library. Of course, I still want to support independent booksellers, and I still buy a lot of books, but I also want to maybe not make the commitment to books that I'm not so sure that I'm going to want to keep. So I guess that's the ones that I've heard are so-so, or might not quite be my thing, or even ones that I've heard that are good. If I really like it, I'm sure I'll want to buy my own copy. So I have a TBR for the month of August. It's long, no surprise there, and it's long in part because I don't know if anybody else does this, but I veered off track with my TBR for July, of course, because there were other things that came up that I wanted to read. And so I have a couple of books that were on my July TBR. So I'll talk about those first. And I probably won't say very much about them because I already talked about them in my July TBR. So if you want to hear about those, you can check my July TBR. I haven't read them yet, so I don't have any summary for you. So even in the July TBR, they're going to be just, little overviews of what these books are about and why I was interested in reading them. So the 3 that are actually the 4 carryovers from my July TBR are Reconstructing Amelia. This one I picked up at a thrift store. It's the first book by Kimberly McCreight. I had read The Good Wife, and it was a pretty fun, quick mystery read, and I thought it was pretty well written, so I thought I would go back and see what else she'd written, and I found Reconstructing Amelia, which was a precursor, or one that she'd written before. I picked that up, still haven't gotten to it, but I'm planning on reading it in the coming month. Tove Ditlevson. I'm gonna go with that. Still really want to read this. It's a translation, and actually August is Women in Translation month. And so that's fitting because I didn't get around to reading Child Youth Dependency, which I am really excited to read. It's a biographical, or it's like a memoir. But what I find really interesting about the idea behind this and the kind of buzz that I've heard about this is just her approach to talking about the different phases of life, and in particular the later part of your life, and in comparison, I guess, to youth and childhood. I mean, I'm just kind of running with what I think the book is going to be like, because I don't know, I haven't read it yet, but I am really looking forward to reading this one, and I have another one in translation coming up next. So it's kind of fitting that a couple of the books that are left over from my TBR from July ended up being pushed into the month of August because of that. So that's kind of cool. The second one, which I am really stoked to read, I don't know why I didn't get to it yet. I've been wanting to read this for a while since it was making the rounds on BookTube, is Severance by Ling Ma. This one is set in a circumstance where people are living through a pandemic or just a plague of some sort. And so very fitting for the times that we've been living in, and I just heard really good things about it again, and really looking forward to reading it. Yeah, so those are the carryovers from July. I have another carryover from July, but I'm also going to kind of categorize this with a couple of other books. The other one that I'm carrying over is the Gyasi Transcendent Kingdom. I haven't gotten to that yet. I haven't read Homegoing either. It was a little bit of a debate in my mind, and I talked about that in the July TBR video as well. Which one should I start with? But I think I'm going to go ahead and read Transcendent Kingdom because it's on the shortlist for the Women's Prize, and I'm trying to read a few of the books that are shortlisted, and some of the books that are now listed for the Booker Prize on the long list that I was already curious about and already interested in. And Transcendent Kingdom is obviously one of those. Transcendent Kingdom, it's about a woman working in STEM, I believe, but that's really kind of all I know. So I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about after I finished reading it. What else? The other one I picked up from the library. No one is talking about this from the library. I got this out from the library because it's shortlisted for the Women's Prize. It's also now longlisted for the Booker Prize, and I'm curious about it. It's about a woman who becomes internet famous, and I guess the duality of living her real life and her internet life. So that I was really curious about. And I picked it up from the library because I've heard mixed reviews, and I don't know if this is a book that I would keep necessarily or go back to necessarily, because it's a bit experimental, I think. So I just wanted to check it out, and then I guess if I really love it, I can always pick it up. And also it's only available in hardcover right now. So if things are in hardcover, I'm also more likely to pick them up from the library and then grab them later on when they come out in soft cover. Another book that's definitely on my August TBR, that it was a gift from Ode at Distill Books. She had given me the ARC. I don't know. I don't know if ever anyone, more than like 2 people watch my videos, and if ever like people start giving me ARCs aside from Ode, it's going to be tough for me to read them ahead of time. I'm really going to have to up my game. So I'm kind of happy in a way because I don't have that pressure. I know there are a lot of booktubers that are under so much pressure, and I just do this for fun. So the book that I'm talking about is by Rachel Cusk. It's called Second Place. It wasn't recognized for the Women's Prize. I'm not sure if it's because it didn't qualify. I haven't really versed myself in all of the rules for all the prizes. And it's not that I only read books for prizes. I'm sure if you've been watching my channel, you know that that's not the case. But of course, it does pique my curiosity when books are selected for prizes. That's why prizes are so important. They have a lot of influence in terms of what gets marketed and what gets sold. I try to go outside the lines of that as well, but it is definitely like prize season. So I wanted to participate in that conversation on BookTube, as well as conversations around thrillers and romances and other. I don't really read a lot of romances. Thrillers and classics, I guess, would be the other conversations that I'm most interested in. But this was an ARC that was given to me by Ode at Distill Books, and I really have to read it. Mostly because she recommended it. It's an ARC, and yeah, I should have read it by now. But life just gets distracting. And so yeah, so it's longlisted, like I say, for the Booker Prize. And she wrote another series called the Outline Trilogy, which I haven't read. I heard it was pretty experimental. But I've also seen quite a lot of praise for this book in and around the internet, and Ode really praised her writing very highly. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be up my alley. It's about a relationship between a man and a woman, an artist. But I think, you know, the title, Second Place, and the idea that she's really exploring is the relationship between men and women in society. And I guess the proposition here is that women always come in second place. That's my guess. But I'll have to read it and get back to you, give you guys a summary on this one. So Second Place by Rachel Cusk, longlisted for the Booker this year. I also wanted to get to Luster, which it's about women. I think it's about a woman like exploring, what is she exploring? Yeah, a woman trying to make sense of her life, hunger, anger, and a tumultuous era. Just about, you know, finding yourself, believing in yourself. I mean, I don't want to read the whole back, but I am actually really curious to read this book. Ooh, I haven't been saying the names of the authors for all of the books. I usually do that more so in the wrap-up. If ever you're curious about the books that I'm talking about and you want to have the detail, because I'm speaking too fast and because I don't have closed captions yet on my video. So yeah, if you're curious about the authors, I always put a list of the books that I'm discussing in my videos in the description box below. So the other book that I took out of the library is, actually I took two others, but they're not, I'm gonna save them. I think I might get to them, I might not get to them. It's possible I might get to them, but I'm not officially putting them on my TBR. This is Infinite Country by Patricia Engel. This is about a girl from Colombia, family from Colombia, and a girl who commits a crime and she gets detained, and then she has to escape because she's supposed to go to America to meet her father. And that's pretty much all I know about it. And then I think it's the story about like transnational families that are separated by migration, or by like having to migrate, and the experience of that, like leaving your home country, moving to America, and the experience of being a migrant. I think, curious about this experience. I think this will be a really good read. And it's not too long. It's about 200 pages, and I already started it, and it's really, 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 really good so far. Really, 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 really good. All right, 3 more. 2 of these I think I'll breeze through super fast because I'm really excited to read them. They seem really fun. That was kind of like all the serious stuff. I have one more serious one that I'm going to talk about at the end. But 2 of the ones that I really want to get to, one I've been wanting to get to for a long time. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I know that I'm late to the party with this. This was a gift at Christmas, and I still haven't had the chance to read it. I'm pretty sure it's based on Elizabeth Taylor's life. Just by the description alone, I can see the inspiration. So it's about, you know, a Hollywood starlet and her 7 husbands. So I'm sure that this will be a very quick read. I never picked up Malibu Rising, and I haven't read Daisy and the Six yet, but I can't hear any more about Taylor Jenkins Reid without reading one of her books. So yeah, I'm sure that I'll get through this one really quickly, and I'm really happy that I'm finally getting to it because it's been on my physical TBR for a long time. Well, since Christmas, since it was given to me at Christmas time. So really looking forward to this one. It'll probably get read in the next couple of weeks. All right, We Ride Upon Sticks. I'm so excited to read this. I just talked about this in book haul video. It was Books and Lala who I saw talk about this, and I don't know, it just really piqued my interest, by Quan. It's about a team of, it just says they'll do anything to get to the state finals. I have no idea what kind of team it is. Also by Quan. She weeps each time we're born. Oh, and some poetry. All right, We Ride Upon Sticks. I talked about it in my book haul video about witchery, sorcery, and sports. That's my preview. Sorcery and sports. That'll be really fun, I think. And the last book that I have every intention of getting to is a book by Tara June Winch. It's the winner of the 2020 Miles Franklin Literary Award. It's called The Yield. It's about an indigenous experience in Australia. But what I've heard about this book is that despite the fact that it's an Australian indigenous community that she's from, and that she's the perspective that she's writing from, that it really is insightful when it comes to understanding the experience of indigenous communities in other parts of the world. And then she focuses a lot on language, on their language, and that's a big part of the narrative, I think, is introducing you to the native language. But it's also about the repossession of land. She finds I'm going to say this wrong, Wiradjuri language dictionary that her grandfather was writing before he died, and it might hold the key to blocking the mine, so it's a mine, of course, from taking away her home. So, I mean, I had talked last time I spoke about how important it was to me to make it a priority to read stories from Indigenous perspectives. The only ones that I had on my TBR was this one, The Yield, and also the Louise Erdrich, The Watchman, I think it's called, which just won the Pulitzer Prize. So that is also on my list for the fall. But this is the first one that I want to read because I've heard really, really good things about it. And I think it's an important, insightful read, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you're looking for Indigenous works, I'm going to link in the comments below a list of books that are written from Indigenous perspectives that you could look through and choose from, because as I said in my last video, I think it's really important to read from the perspective of Indigenous voices, particularly if you're living in a country like Canada, Australia, where Indigenous lands were removed from families. So I'm going to leave a link down below for some resources that you can refer to if you're curious about reading from an Indigenous perspective, because I had suggested that that's maybe something you might want to do. That's it for me today. I have a lot I have to get to, so I'm going to sign off. I hope that everyone is enjoying the rest of their summer. It's a little chilly here. I've had to take my sweaters out. Well, this is my summer sweaters are out, like cotton sweaters, but yeah, it's getting chilly, and it's just making me feel kind of fall vibes at the beginning of August. So we'll see. I hope that everyone has a really good month of reading. I'll be coming back with a July wrap-up. Yay! July wrap-up coming your way in probably about a week. So until then, take care. Don't forget to water those plants, and I will see you soon. Bye! So, I don't know. What am I even saying? It's early. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and then I'll try again. I always have to have material for my intros and outros. I wonder if you all appreciate the bloopers in the front and the ends of my videos, or if I should stop doing that. I don't know. The things I wonder about. The things that I wonder about. For the 3 people who are watching, I wonder what you think. Could you comment in the comments below? I would love to hear from you.